Welcome to our 2021 Investors Day. My name is Colleen Kopse. I'm the SVP of Partner and Alliances here at Snowflake, and I am joined by Christina Bieniek, who is the Chief Commercial Officer and Principal at Deloitte Consulting. Christina, welcome.
Thanks, Colleen. So excited to be here today and excited about the conversation and dialogue we're going to have. As our Chief Commercial Officer for Deloitte, it's really about driving growth for our business. And in this capacity, I have sales, marketing, our client teams, and our ecosystems and alliances. So all of our partnerships and relationships in the market. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here today. Snowflake is really big and important for us as we think about moving forward together. Just excited to spend some time with you today.
Great. Well, you definitely have a unique perspective. I'm really excited to hear about what you're seeing with clients who want to do business transformation and what trends you're seeing out there from a data perspective, especially.
Yeah, so Colleen, if you take a step back and we start at the highest level, we live in a world that's just transforming right before our eyes. Our world is getting smarter and more connected by the day. Smart, intelligent machines, appliances. I look around my house and I feel like everything is smart and intelligent, but all fueled by data in the cloud and the application of AI to generate the insights and really render autonomous actions. And this world is one that we live in, but inherited by our children, where language, conversation, intellect, judgment, actions are really transcending from purely humans doing these to smart, intelligent, hyper-connected machines and systems with humans as well. And across all of our clients, whether it's businesses in the private sector, public companies, national governments, are all real retooling, pivoting, and preparing for this new, smarter, connected world and to thrive in what you could call the modern economy. And the beating heart of this modern economy is underpinned by cloud as the always on infrastructure, and AI as the always embedded cognitive engine, and cyber as the always required means to safeguard us. So, this really means that massive amounts of data that is generated, connected, stored, and comprehended to be acted upon. And it requires that data. And data, then, in many ways, you could say, is the lifeblood. You ask about business transformation, that doesn't happen without data. And the data is really what's accessible 24/7 via the cloud. And that data is then acted upon by AI, protected by cyber. And I think and believe this is the opportunity in front of Snowflake, and particularly how we see to be that data cloud that powers the modern economy and for businesses to thrive in it. A data cloud that's really the embodiment of this always on infrastructure, making data available for machine learning algorithms to generate the insights so businesses make better decisions, to transform engagement, to render autonomous actions, and really fuel the innovation that all of our clients are striving for when they think about transforming their businesses.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I'd love to hear from you a little bit more about what you're seeing from our clients. What are they asking for, and what makes the combination of Snowflake and Deloitte the answer for so many of them?
Yeah, Colleen, if you take a step back on that business transformation that I just talked about and how it's this, really fueling the modern economy, what's really needed, the data resides in the cloud. So if you just think about that, everything that happens, so the machine learning algorithms learn from that data and provide that competitive edge that organizations are seeking. And so when I think about the clients we work with together, we're seeing this across the board on that business transformation journey. And this is fueled by a recognition that, look, legacy on-premise data solutions are expensive to maintain. Data silos make harnessing the value and the power of that data too time consuming and, again, expensive. And AI is really difficult to apply across fragmented data across the organization. So this is where together, Snowflake and Deloitte, we have a major role to play. The data cloud is the network that connects the customers, the partners, the data providers, the service providers, really enabling them to share rapidly kind of growing data sets in a secure, governed, compliant ways. The data cloud serves as the true central data hub for all your data types. So whether our clients are talking about structured or unstructured data, organizations can leverage the data cloud to really reduce silos, to mitigate risk, and to simplify what is oftentimes cumbersome data sharing methods. The data cloud also serves as that starting point for applying AI on really large sets of data to propel what we like to call the modern economy. So the opportunity and what they're asking us for is help us to do that. Help us go after all of those different areas to ultimately drive financial benefits. And oftentimes it's not just the financial benefits, it's what we're enabling and what's being unlocked.
I love how you're seeing the power of the data cloud and what we've termed the network effect and how it's just so transformative for clients. So I think that's perfect that we're both seeing that same impact out there. When you look ahead at Deloitte from a practice standpoint around Snowflake, what do you see as sort of the short and long-term investments?
Colleen, we're really excited, both near term, short term, about the vision for this Snowflake practice. And see, really the horizon is filled with possibilities and a really strong vision of what long term looks like as well. Let me tell you a little bit about kind of here and now today, what we're really seeing from our clients. Just robust demand is what I would say, and we're making tremendous investments to implement a data cloud. And we're seeing that from clients who are saying, hey, I need this because I have to have a centralized hub for all types of data across the enterprise. I've got to have a way and development for a repository that's easy to access data for all my different use cases. Clients need to create the elasticity respect to when, where, and how data is stored. There's need for training for machine learning algorithms and really just this enabling of this jumping off point. So we see the demand from clients in so many different ways. And we like to think about Snowflake as the endpoint of migrating data to the cloud, but it's also the starting point for the application of AI. And so organizations are really recognizing the fact that migrating large volumes of data to the cloud and establishing a data cloud is almost an unlock. It enables them to begin that harnessing of the data that I talked about and really making it a strategic asset. It makes the data accessible. We often say it helps you to democratize the data, to put it in the hands of the end users and not just the data engineers who we love, but we've got to get it throughout the business so that it can really be consumed and used. And then just the application of AI on the connected enterprise data sets to really get after that business transformation. So the relationship between us building this practice and the partnership together, we're really looking to help our clients with all of that. And this is where we are investing heavily in things we're building together, solutions we're bringing to market together, training, and really making heavy investments because we just see high growth in the near term demands. But really, as we think about unlocking for our clients, how they see their businesses transforming in the future.
I couldn't agree with you more that when we see the transformation happening and the unlocking together, it's magic. It truly is magic, and they really experience the power of data. Now, that said, some customers, and you have such a long and trusted history with so many of your customers, some of them have challenges migrating to the cloud and
Yeah,
with the trust and the security. And, I just
yeah.
love to hear from you, especially large organizations struggling with legacy solutions. What do you see are the biggest roadblocks to them moving to the data cloud?
There are difficulties in data migration. So let's just call the is what it is. It can be sometimes a lack of an action plan, whether it's incomplete or confusing. Oftentimes it's incomplete, duplicative, unnecessary data that can make it difficult. You know, data sometimes being data loss before and during the migration. Oftentimes we have like source versus destination compatibility challenges, and even something that you think, wow, just technology restraints that are could be with the wrong software hardware mix to support that end state. So yes, we see these difficulties, but what we've done that really helps our clients, and I can share some of how we've overcome some of those challenges, is we have this migration factory approach where we bring market leading automation across each of the implementation phases to really successfully deliver those engagements. And, in other words, we've pulled together our million plus hours of data migration work to build this playbook of best practices to guide our clients together to help avoid the hurdles that can really derail a migration. And we think about it across the strategy and planning dimension, rehosting, enhancing, optimization, and then just the data operations. And look, our approach has been shaped, and I would argue the approach is one that we're continuously improving because it's based on feedback and it's based on kind of always what is the next best, the newest automation, the newest thing that we can bring to help with these really large scale modernization efforts. And one of the challenges we often hear is migration is an expensive throwaway effort. And so you sometimes hear that. And I think we have demonstrated in our work together that modernization programs lend themselves to a strong business case. And if done right, and this is where kind of taking the factory approach, the project pays for itself. And we had a recent client where the client will realize 25 million in annual savings on the completion of a Teradata migration project. Another challenge, kind of put in the second bucket, is modernizing the data platform is disruptive to the business. And I know you would agree, and that's certainly something that you often hear is, I've got to minimize the disruption to the business. And so this is where, that early engagement in the factory approach of users so that they have a long runway, that they have kind of the time that's needed for the upskilling of associates rather than replacing them. And really, oftentimes it's also the automation to replace user effort to test and mitigate the risk of human error. So there are many things in that approach that really help with the mitigation there. And the third challenge is really choosing the lowest cost vendor to drive mission critical modernizations. And we have a differentiated approach that's anchored on a few things. We have this joint approach in how we automate, and we really align Snowflake professional services where we work closely together to deliver kind of a more complex and complete and large scale migration with all of the things that we need to do together and proven automations at every phase that help to reduce and minimize that risk. And I think we have another really great example where the client saw an acceleration of the migration by 50% in terms of scope and timeline, and it wasn't through just cost choices. And so this is where that playbook, those best practices, and what we've really built together in this, what we call our Deloitte migration factory approach, I think is really critical and has been extremely helpful with the risk that often comes up when working with our clients.
I have to just ask you, as we go back to looking at your Snowflake practice, sort of what goals have you set out for the team and for yourselves of success? Like, how do you measure, hey, we're doing great, or we could do more, or we're right on target for you and your team?
Colleen, I love that you asked that question. In full transparency, we want to be your number one partner. And how we get there in many ways is by clients in the market choosing to work with the two of us and seeing the value of Snowflake and Deloitte together and the value that we will collectively help those clients to realize. And so we have prioritized the relationship with Snowflake, and we'll look to kind of continue to make the investments that you're talking about. We're investing in all aspects of building our Snowflake practice, and we believe in the opportunity to work together. And really, what our end clients are asking for, we see this relationship as a great way to help all of our clients together on business transformation. And as you can imagine, we work with many partners. And why Snowflake and some of the things specifically that we think about doing with Snowflake, we want to make sure we're building and driving industry solutions and really putting ourselves at the heart of those industries together so that we can answer the tough challenges for each of the industries that we serve, bringing bold plays and ideas together. We want to enable the data cloud through existing and new ecosystems, whether those are Deloitte ecosystems or Snowflake ecosystems, and then they come together. We want to be more than just a 1+1 relationship. and we want to collaborate on the Snowflake product roadmap and future innovations. And I think this is where we can bring the best of the expertise that we're seeing broadly throughout our client base and the expertise that your teams have, and bring that together to continue to drive innovation, all with driving our clients, value, and helping clients to really realize the ambitions that they have. Ultimately, the definition of success for both of us is in that client dimension.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think here at Snowflake, I can say with relative authority, we don't believe that we can do it on our own. We need our partners. We need our ecosystem. We need you. And walking in jointly along with Snowflake Professional Services and your expertise and your trust that you've built up with your customer and your industry expertise, I think we just make a powerful pair, frankly. And we couldn't be happier with the relationship and how it's progressed and the growth we're seeing together. But as you said, our North Star is happy customers. And as we watch folks transform to the data cloud and really understand the power that they're harnessing with the network effect, it is just exciting. So we thank you for your investment. We thank you for your belief in us and for you extending what we're able to do together. And it's just been a phenomenal journey, and I can't wait to see what's ahead of us.
Colleen, thank you. And I have a huge ditto to everything you just said. Really looking forward to that journey together.
Great. Well, thank you for joining us, and hope everyone got an opportunity to learn some new things about us and Deloitte and how we're going to market together.